Hey, it's Dan Morales. This is Homebuyer Radio, episode number 131. Okay, so one of the biggest hurdles clients have in buying a house oftentimes is just the ability to come up with a cash down payment. Now, sometimes what will happen is clients will say, hey, I'm just going to wait a year or two until I have some additional cash that I can put in as a down payment, and we'll go from there. What's particularly worrisome, if you will, to me, is when a client says, hey, I'm going to wait until I get to the point where I have a 20% down payment, and they've only got a few $1,000s now. Oftentimes, clients, don't have that kind of discretionary income or savings ability where they can, build up a 20% down payment within a reasonable period of time or a shorter period of time. So what happens is, you keep chasing that 20% down payment dream. And, at the same time, the value of properties continue to rise. The sales prices of properties rise. Interest rates can potentially continue to rise. And so what happens is you keep chasing this dream of home ownership only to see it, or only to never catch it, if you will, because you're so busy trying to save, let's say, that 20% down payment. So let's start by saying, one of the most common misconceptions, and I find this hard to believe that people still have this misconception, is that you have to have a 20% down payment in order to buy a house. Now, the old rule of thumb was, you had to have a 20% down payment. Well, in today's world, there are plenty of mortgage options that allow for, a smaller down payment. It's just a matter of what you're qualified for. Now, there's options that, allow for as little as a zero down payment, depending on, a number of different factors. There's, common options that are, 3% down, 5% down. FHA is a 3.5% down payment. There's a VA loan at zero down, a USDA loan at zero down. That we offer some custom products that are zero down. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have options that are anywhere from 3 to 5% down, depending on what you're looking to do. So you don't have to have these huge down payments as part of the home buying process. What you do have to do, obviously, is you have to be able to qualify to repay the mortgage, with that smaller down payment. Now, oftentimes, if you have a down payment that's less than 20%, you're going to deal with some kind of mortgage guarantee, if you will. Okay, that would normally be, in the case of a conventional type of mortgage, some form of private mortgage insurance or what's called PMI. In the case of a government loan, there's usually some type of guarantee fee that's tied to those loans, especially if you have a smaller down payment. Okay, now, how those loan structures and details play out, those vary, obviously, depending on client scenario, product you choose, and a number of different factors. If you look back over the course of the last 130 plus episodes, there's a whole lot of episodes that we've done that talk about mortgage insurance and guarantees and government guarantees and all these other things that can really factor into your overall cost to borrow. There's a number of different ways that you can play with the loan structure that really can work out very well for you when it's all said and done. So, if you're somebody that's thinking about buying and, maybe you're sitting on the sidelines because you're thinking you got to have, this 20% down payment, just know that you don't have to have, this 20% down payment. And the other thing I would tell you too, is you don't have to have absolutely perfect credit. Okay. There's plenty of options that, allow for, what I would say less than perfect credit. Now, if you've got really bad credit and you've never, paid a bill on time, you're probably going to have some difficulty in being able to get approved. But even then, I've had clients who think they have really bad credit when in all honesty, it's not as bad as what they think it is. So I do not want to discourage you from applying, because I think in all honesty, you'd want to, take a look at where you're at, what your options look like, and, what you could be eligible for. And if you're not eligible now, what can we do to help get you to the point where you are eligible at some point in time here in the future? So, all in all, you don't have to have this 20% down payment. There's a lot of myths that come to, the home mortgage process of buying a house. And, a lot of times, clients are given information either from, a realtor or, a lender where, they just maybe don't know all of the details. A lot of times, agents are really good at selling properties, but they're not necessarily, the best when it comes to the details of how you would structure a loan and put it together. Usually a really good realtor, is going to be partnered with a really good lender. We partner with a number of really good seasoned realtors who know what they're doing. And that's part of, our job is to kind of serve them and to serve their clients to make sure that we put together, the best loan structure that benefits you long term, so that you have the best outcome when it's all said and done. Okay. So again, kind of a little more general episode. I just want to encourage you to, explore what options you have available, because a lot of times, people, convince themselves of these, myths, if you will, that aren't necessarily true, and discourage themselves from being able to go out and look at buying a house. When in all honesty, they probably could have done it, and they probably could have done it with less cash involved in what they thought. And in all honesty, with a monthly payment that's probably, very comparable, if not maybe better than what you would have paid if you were going to go out there and run a property, okay? Hey, my name is Dan Morales. My NMLS number is 709729. You can find me online at danmorales.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. My phone number is 616-931-4629. And, of course, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender.